Hello, hello, and welcome to my channel. This is Elise here of Plan with Elise, and today we are doing the starting setup for my journal for the month of November. I have a Happy Planner Dot Grid bullet journal here, and this is going to carry me through to the end of the year. So this will be my third journal. Yeah, because I fit 4 months in each journal. This will be my third one and final one for the year. So I have Seasonal Love here from Live Love Posh. This is the July to December version. And I want to start with some really big florals right up top in the corner and maybe the bottom corner as well. But before I place this all the way down, I want to look because I know that there's some washi style strips here. I wanted to use the green, but I've already used them. So let's use this like peach one. If I can get it off the page. Here we go. So these tend to curl up when I lift it all up. So I try to have as much on my hand as possible. And we're going to come through and tuck this right under here, but with a tiny bit of space left at the top of the page. Oops. You want to try to prevent it from curling on itself because that's where it's going to rip. And then I should have put that on my left hand because now I have to cut lefty. Oh my goodness. It's not easy. Okay. That off my hand. And then that just kind of helps secure or helps make sure that the journal doesn't like open in a way it shouldn't. All right. This part is crooked. Still a little bit crooked, but better. Okay. Now let's do that again, but better for the bottom. Let's see. We're going to grab this really large floral. These florals are so pretty. This right here at the corner. Bend this up. Let's grab the other strip. And then this time, let's work smarter. This piece down, this here. Grab my knife. One step at a time. I'm also seeing this one is popping up. Okay, and then we come down here and trim this. Still a little crooked, having a little trouble today, clearly, but we're just gonna let it go. Okay. Oh, that looks so pretty. Honestly, even if I didn't put anything else down, I'd be happy because I just feel like having the washi sticker strip, whatever you call it, framing the page is just a really nice touch. The next thing that I'm going to do is actually pull out an unexpected book. I have Spring Shapes here by Mojo Jojo Plans. And I was looking at these, or maybe these actually. These may be better here. Let me take a look at something before I decide on one. I think we're going to go for the light ones. Let me just take a look at what else is in here. I definitely don't want gold or something that really doesn't fit. The coral could actually work. No, I'm going to go for the lighter ones, and I'll explain why momentarily. But the first thing we're going to do is pop one down on the middle. And this one I'm also going to use my knife to slice. But this time we're going to slice it after it's already down. Then let's add in some more. Kind of go up on each side. Looking a little Mickey ears now, but it's going to get better. And then down. And this is kind of the same setup that I usually use with my journal. It's what works for me. And also, aside from what like spending time on what works for me and my brain, it's also knowing, like when I see something that I recognize, it helps me know where things need to go. So a really good example of this is if you've been around for a while And I used to set up my budget planner, or actually not my budget planner, my regular classic vertical planner, not with planner cake kits, but with just regular stickers. I would always put a little header box down on the bottom of each day where I had a bill due, because if I saw that little header box, I knew what it was for. I was never going to use that type of box for anything besides a bill that I would need to pay. And so sometimes just seeing something really helps identify it. In my Plan with Elise planner, I always use green highlighter in my monthlies, which I don't share with you. But I always use green highlighter once something has been filmed. I'm trying to see if I could grab it. I don't think I can, because then I know that that's done, and I always use the same color highlighter. Anyway, in my journal, it's helpful for me to have similar setups so that I'm not trying something that's not going to work for me. So now November, November. We have 8 letters in November, so N-O-V-E and M, we're going to want to kind of tuck in the middle together. Now, part of the reason I chose this color was because I felt like the other color was too close. Whoops, these are the wrong ones. Was too close to that coral on the alphabet, and I didn't want them to like interfere with each other. So we're going to put E here. Actually, before I put that down, I have an idea. It's going to be a little difficult for me to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. I feel like sometimes I don't use these washi strips enough, and I really like them. So I actually want to see if I can put the letters over this. Where I'm going to have trouble with this is because I don't necessarily know how wide I need this to be for the letters to nicely go over it. But also, I need my ruler, because my ruler will kind of help me figure this out. I've never really done it this way before. I'm not entirely sure it's going to work, but we're going to try. So I'm going to put just a little bit of this on the ruler. Just like a tiny little bit. Then, get hair off. Okay. Then we'll come in with my E and my M. Actually, I don't even need to do it that way. I'm going to do it starting with N, because now I'm going to be centering it using the ruler. So let's do N, and we're going to put this over the sticker strip. N, O. I really shouldn't be doing this on the page or on the journal, because that's where we're going to run into an error. N-O, V. It's hard to press these down without pressing the other part down, I will say. I don't know if I can come up with an easier way to do it. The other way I was thinking was just by like getting some of the sticky off, like putting this on wax paper, but I figured let's try this and see if it works. I really need like someone to hold this up and just do it this way. Okay, M. B, let's do the peach B. We haven't used that yet. B, do a green E. And then a mustard R. Oh my goodness. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take this and we're going to trim off just about enough so that it's even on both sides. And now is the time to see if this worked. So I wanted E and M to kind of be in the middle here. We're going to press these down, press this down. It worked. There's probably a better way to do it, but it worked. Doesn't look horrible. I do want to slice this though. Okay. Another way that maybe I would do it in the future, this got a little ripped, is to do one part at a time, because then I would still be able to center it nicely, but we'll see. I'm not objected to trying new things as long as you don't mind if it doesn't always work. All right, now I'm gonna come in with, is this what I want? This ripped. I'm gonna come in with a couple of boxes, not very many, I think just 2. But this one I think I want to lift that bottom corner. Let's do that. Right here. And I can kind of jot down a couple of things that maybe I'm looking forward to in the month. And then I'm going to choose a color, maybe the coral. Let's see how I like this coral. Now it's feeling a little too neon for me. Maybe this one. It may not be too red. Yeah, that's a perfect color. Okay, now we're going to do kind of a line trick. So I did this last month, and I do this, I kind of duplicate what I'm doing here because I want to add a cool effect. I need this pen. So I'm layering a mild liner with a Zebra Sarasa R 0.5. I usually use a Zebra Sarasa R 0.4, but I feel like for this, the 0.5 looks better. I actually just did this yesterday with a 0.4 in my memory planner or memory keeper, and I didn't really love how it looked. I felt like you didn't see enough of the black pen. So the way that we're doing this now is just alternating. I'm doing each color before I move the ruler because then I know that it's on the same line and I'm not like risking messing it up. Because if there's a chance to mess something like this up, it's probably going to happen if I'm doing it. Even here, like we're not really staying even. Now, these lines in my journal are really just where I write what I'm looking forward to in the month, how I'm feeling about the new month, maybe what my intentions are. And then over here, I can either fill them in before the month or as the month goes on of like accomplishments. But before the month, maybe some things that I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to going to Chicago for the Chicago Planner Conference. What else am I looking forward to in November? Continuing to plan our wedding. All that fun stuff. Okay. That looks good. I mean, it's not perfectly even. Again, I'm not really expecting perfectly even if it's something that I'm doing, but I think that that looks really cute. Do I put something else over here? I feel like we're a little empty over here. I don't know that I really need anything, but I also think that this could look cool here. Just to kind of fill in some of that space. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, now that we have November down, we are going to do one of my favorite parts of my journal, and that is my 1 line per day. So I'm going to take the brush point of this. This is a Zebra mild liner. I'm going to do O, N, E, L, I, N, E, P, E, R, and D, A. I tend to make spelling mistakes if I'm talking to you as I'm doing it. So now I'm going to go over it with a Zebra click art. And it's just a cool minimal effort lettering effect. Super easy to do. Now we're also going to take this mild liner and create little dots to go down. So there's 15 days or 30 days in November. I want 15 for each side. There's really no perfect way to count these, so I just kind of eyeball it, and that's fine by me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm starting to see that I went too wide between them, so now I know I have to fit 5 here. 11, 12, 13. We're going to do 14. I really messed that up. And over here, I'll just do 16, and that's okay. So we've got 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And you can't really even tell that they're uneven. Maybe you can. I can't. And then I'm just going to come through and put these numbers down. This is where I write down one little thing from each day. So it can be something as exciting as James and I got engaged. It can be something as simple as I finished my to-do list, or this is the show we're watching, or this is the book I'm reading. This is what I had for dinner. Here's what the weather was like. Any little moment of the day I can document here. And it's such an easy setup. Look at those 2 pages. They came out so cute, but they're really so simple. Now we can get into the actual journal pages. So let's get this down. I have these Planner Kate stickers here, and I love these because they're perfect for my journal. They're also really good for an undated planner. I tend to go a week at a time with these, but because we're starting on a Saturday with November, I break up my month. We're going to go through to Sunday, November 9th. So let me grab Autumn Allure here by Live Love Posh and see what I can use here. I try with this to kind of use what I'd call leftover stickers. And leftover stickers are stickers that I've already used for a spread in my planner, but I still have some left, and that's where they're really good to use in my journal. So we've got this one right here, and then let's add in maybe this corner sticker. And I know I repeat myself when I say this, if you watch all these journaling videos, but I go by the rule of thirds in my journal, where I try to decorate about a third of the page and give myself 2/3 of the page to write in. Sometimes it's too much space having the entire page ready or available for me to write in. And so I like the 2/3 rule. It works for me really nicely. So I'm going to come in here, and I still haven't filled up 2/3 of the page. It's not an exact measurement. Again, it's an eyeball. But what I wanted to do was add some quotes in here. So what are some of my like older quote sticker books, like Kel of a Plan, Roy G. Biv, those kinds of quotes I feel like would work really well here. So we have to find them in order to use them. I pulled out Rainbow Quotes Volume 2. I really like the fonts in this, and some of the stickers are nice and big. So let's do this one. I hope there are days you fall in love with being alive. And just kind of pop this in here. And now this is our writing space, and I think that that looks really nice. Now we're going to do show up, be kind, and love well. And we're going to make a mess of my desk in the meantime. And just put this one here. And now this is my journaling space. So it works really nicely. Okay, next up we have November 3rd and November 4th. I feel like while I have this sticker book out, maybe I'll just use it for one more. And then I'll come in with another sticker book. So we've got this here. These are good. When there's a sticker with like a lot of these little elements, I just kind of play around with them and add them in like little different spots. So over here, let's take this one and maybe this one too, and try to keep going until I finish. I also don't need my dates to always be right at the top of the page. Like if I put that here, we can come in with November 4th, and now my 2/3 is down here. So there's no rule that says that it always has to be up at the top. Let's grab my scissor and trim this to be a straight line, straight edge. And then maybe the same thing here with this pumpkin. Just like nice and clean. And we can do Monday, November 3rd, right over here. This is feeling kind of bare. I'm going to come in with these other little extra leaves down here and just kind of create a little border on this side. And I try to just turn them in different orientations and cut there so that they kind of look more like random and not as precise. Okay, we're good there. November 5th and November 6th. So just kind of going with sticker books that I have on my desk right now and haven't put away. Neutral Boxes and Florals Volume 2 by Kelly LaPlan. This is the collaboration with Versed Planning. And speaking of leftovers, this morning I used some of these stickers in a spread. So I feel like these would be perfect to use over here. I do have plenty left. The thing is though, even though I have plenty of these florals left for another spread, if I were to do a full one, I don't have a lot of the boxes left because I've used the boxes that coordinate with these. So we're going to come down this way just to kind of change things up a little bit. And then let's do larger right here. Not perfect, but it's fine. It's my journal. It's not that deep. And then here, this side. Sorry, I feel like I'm struggling. We're going to put this at the bottom, come back in with a sticker like this. Grab my scissors. This one is a nice corner. So we'll just trim that. And then it may be it here because I think I want to put a quote in. So we'll put November 5th, November 6th. And I like setting these up a week at a time because then when it's time to journal, all I have to do is pull this out and I'm ready to journal. I don't have to think like, what stickers do I want to use? It's just less decision making. Here we're going to do Thankful for the Weekend. I know that Thursday is not technically the weekend. However, this day I am heading to Chicago for the Chicago Planner Conference. So thankful for the weekend, thankful to see some planner friends and meet new people and experience a little getaway. All right, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I have my Chicago Planner Conference sticker book by Live Love Posh. And over here, I think I want to use the scrapbook paper, which I don't actually use a lot in my journal, but it's kind of the perfect use for it. There's a lot of good uses for this. So these are scrapbook, oops, I cut that one. These are scrapbook paper stickers. So we're just going to rip this. A lot less precise than I normally rip when I'm using them in my planner, but it's just going to be a really nice look over here. And then that's going to fill up the page. I'm not going to need to really add in anything else because that's going to be my third, maybe even more than that. I'm going to be doing a lot of memory keeping from the trip, so I don't feel like I need to write down too much. So this is kind of a good look here. I may layer something over it that just indicates Chicago just versus like these florals. This one is going to be too big, so we're going to trim. Oh, I really trimmed that horribly. I should have turned the page around. Okay. Now let's come in with the dates. Do Friday and Saturday. And then let's do something that indicates Chicago. That's too big. I don't want to go huge here. So I have 2 of this quote, Chicago Planner Conference, keep it simple. I'm going to grab that because I don't think I need 2 of them for whatever I'm saving it for. So we can just kind of do this here. And that really shows that it's Chicago. It's that I'm there for the conference. And then we could also even take a little planner here and like pop this in over here. I think that that's cute. Okay, finally is our last day, our Sunday. It'll still be Chicago Planner Conference because this conference goes Friday through Sunday. So part of the day is the conference, and then I think it ends maybe around like noon. And then we'll probably do some stuff around Chicago, but then fly home. So I'm just going to kind of put this here as a little ending to the week. Then we can take Sunday, November 9th, pop this in here. And then on this side, I'm actually not going to put any stickers. I'm just going to do, well, I am going to put stickers. I'm not putting stickers first is what I meant. We're going to write week. In, oops, review. And this is where I just kind of recap my week. Sometimes I write down my favorite moments, anything that I'm proud of during the week, something that was hard for me during the week, mindsets that I want moving into the next week, just kind of a little recap for myself. And sometimes I don't even always remember it. You know, what may feel like a really tough week on a Monday, I kind of forget about by the time that I sit down to do this review. So I go back through the journal and take a look and just kind of a how I feel, you know, at the end of the week type of deal here. I will link everything that I used in the description of this video, in addition to any discount codes that I have available. But I'm so happy that we are now set up for November. I think this came out really pretty, and I've got the first 9 days ready to go. So it feels really good. This is your sign to set up something of yours for the new month. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.